Good afternoon, I'm Jeff. I'm a Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 13931 Southeast Matilda Drive here in Milwaukee. We're located at the right side of the home. We're just on the backyard side of the fence here, just through the gate. We have a 3-inch ABS cleanout as our point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running. Here we go. Looks like it transitions here right off the bat. It does actually look like it's belling out to 4-inch 3034 PVC pipe. And just made the turn there. It's starting to head out towards the street. Alright, we're kind of running into a lip there. We'll take another look at this on the way out, but that edge you're seeing right there on the camera, I think we've got some kind of offset joint right here. Oh, and it's transitioning here to the, looks like the original cast iron pipe. This house right off the bat did not look that old. Anyway, we'll take another look at that cast iron, or that transition from PVC to cast iron. Sometimes you can end up with a lip on the pipe, although it is not ideal. It doesn't always mean that it's opened up to the ground there. Many of those joints have a rubber fernco around them. So anyway, the lip in and of itself, though, can also cause issues too. You've got an object there that's sticking about a ½ inch up in the flow line and can, especially if you flush like a big wad of toilet paper down the line, that's where a lip like that can be an issue. And it's worth looking into. I would imagine that is under concrete. In the event that repair is recommended here today, I would look into the possibility of doing a pipe liner. They have epoxy liners now, and you might be able to simply line that joint there and kind of smooth the lip out, which I think can be done. So in the event that we need a repair here, I would definitely look into that process. We've got a lot of junk in the line. This right here is a tampon. There's a bunch of them throughout the pipe. Really want to avoid putting those down the line. They're about worse than paper towels. There's that big long string on them. They get hung up everywhere. All right, transitions here now over to 6-inch concrete pipe. Drop into some more standing water there, and with all the debris and junk in the line, we'll make sure we drain it out as long as possible. So you can get debris sitting in the flow line, kind of damming things up, which makes it look like a belly. And then here we have reached the main lateral connection. And it looks like the water level in the main is just about even with this one, which is a city problem. Yeah, that doesn't get fixed without the whole main lateral in the street getting corrected. Anyhow, I'm going to go locate the camera, verify where the line terminates, and then we'll let the pipe drain out completely. Alright, located the camera head successfully at the main on Southeast Matilda Drive. The line only goes maybe 4 or 5 feet out into the roadway before hitting the main, if that. It's pretty close to the driveway skirt. We're still letting it drain here. It's going to take a little bit. There's a lot of junk in the line, kind of damming things up. Alright, we're going to go start rolling the camera back. It's pretty much all drained out at this point. Still have a little water trickling through it, mostly because we have debris in the flow line, kind of water's trying to percolate through. Alright, so we do have a slight belly there right at the beginning of the concrete. The water level never exceeds even to a 1/4 inch. It's sitting around a 1/16 of an inch, barely up to a 1/4, maybe in a couple few inches of that section of pipe there. That amount of standing water does not concern me. The only reason that is a problem is if you're putting things down the line that shouldn't be going down there and doing it consistently. Cooking oil and grease going down the kitchen sink on a daily basis, tampons, paper towels, stuff that is not supposed to go down there will slowly but surely collect in those spots there. That's a pretty minor little belly there, though. This spot here in the cast iron is a bit more significant, dude. We have an inch of standing water in that particular area there. And you can see the amount of stuff that's started to collect on the sidewalls, and a lot of it we've shoveled out of the way with the camera. My rule of thumb with bellies, where to recommend repairs on them, typically once you hit at least 5 feet of pipe with at least an inch of standing water, that is where I generally start to see toilet paper collecting the line, not just things that shouldn't go down the pipe. Now this belly stops here at about 60 feet, the major portion of it anyway. I'll roll back here and measure this real quick. Yeah, it's a fairly short section of the line here. It's only about, looks like the belly starts here at about 56.5 feet, 57 feet. It's really only about a 3-foot section of pipe. So for that reason, I'm not going to recommend you tear up the driveway and go through all that effort. Not that this couldn't cause issues, but typically at this size here, it's very, very livable. All the stuff we're seeing in the pipe here for the most part is stuff that should not be going down the line to begin with. You know, it's definitely in need of hydrojetting though to get a lot of this junk out of here and all the scale buildup. Anyway, that amount of standing water there, the most significant portion is about a 3-foot section with about an inch of water, 3/4 to 1 inch. Beyond that, there's a little bit of a belly in the concrete there, but again, it's about a 1/16 of an inch of water, which is on no planet would I ever recommend that be fixed. But you do need to be mindful of it. It's one of those situations where it is really not worth tearing the concrete up, not unless you're going to go through the effort of redoing the whole stinking line. You just want to be mindful of it. And if you, not to say that everyone has bad habits, but if you think some things are going down there from time to time that shouldn't be, it's worth doing a rescope at the 1-year mark, especially if you get it jetted right before moving in, just to see how the line is handling your living habits. Every household is different. There's different amounts of people, and people do different things. So if at the 1-year mark you're not really seeing a whole lot of stuff in the line, you can pretty much go on your merry way and not worry a whole lot about it. And we're getting close back to this transition point here. We'll see what this looks like. Alright, you can see here now, what my camera was running into right now was the side of this joint. You can see in the flow line area, those pieces of pipe are essentially flush with each other. This little edge here on the side that my camera's banging into is sticking up a little bit, and that's mostly just because that they weren't probably able to meet those 2 pieces of pipe up absolutely perfectly flush. You've got cast iron from 60 years ago and newer PVC, so that's not an uncommon thing there. Once again, another spot where it just simply is not worth the money to fix. That would probably be at least $1,500 to $2,500, and really we're not seeing any debris collecting there at all. And I wouldn't really expect it to. It's very minimal. And we're going to go ahead and reel the camera out of the line. I definitely recommend having the line jetted. Get it all cleaned out. And then I would recommend, especially if you've got a larger household, if you have 4, 5, 6 people moving into the home, especially if you have kids, that small belly out there is something worth doing a rescope on in a year, just to make sure you're not getting any major stuff building up in the line there. And again, those spots will not collect anything unless you're putting stuff down there that shouldn't be going down there. It's not such a significant belly that just folded toilet paper is going to just build up there all of a sudden. Now the biggest things to watch for, or really the only things that should be going down the line, is folded toilet paper down the toilet And you can put food down the disposal. You just need to watch your grease and cooking oil and bacon grease, all that kind of stuff. Tampons, paper towels, flushable wipes, cleaning wipes, you need to avoid those like the plague. Even the ones that say flushable on them will build up like crazy, even in a perfectly working sewer line. Anyway, at this time, and especially after the line is jetted, we do have adequate flow to the main lateral. The ABS, cast iron, and concrete portions, as well as the 3034 portions, are all in good condition. We don't have any broken joints or busted pipe, split, anything like that. It's in good shape. A little bit of settling has occurred, but nothing major. And we're running back into the house here, and that is the end of the line inside the home. We're staring up through the roof vent there. So the sewer line is functioning at this time, especially pending a jet. That will clear a lot of junk out of the pipe there and improve the flow quite a bit more.